Hi, this is Africa Investing Stories, and I'm your host, Simon Rushton. Today we have a guest who was with us before, who spoke about his money zebra and transacting money from one part of the world to another while financing business and people. He's that guy with that degree from, I believe it's Greenwich University, and well, maybe not. And he's going places. Anyway, today we're going to talk about his business, Indigenous House, which is another great business. I've been checking out his Facebook site. And he's going to tell us more about it today. Emanuel, great to have
Hi,
you.
Simon. Thanks for having me once again. It's always a pleasure to be on your podcast.
Okay, thanks. So tell us, how did this Indigenous podcast get started? Indigenous House, sorry. How did it get started?
It dates back to sometime 2012 when I first paid the UK, a visit. When I first visited the UK, and I went back to Ghana, and I had all these ideas, to sort of start a fashion line or a brand on my own. So what happened was I had some t-shirts that I bought from here, took it back because I was in uni back in Ghana at the time, took it back and then sold it to some of my colleagues, friends, and that earned me some decent money. So I thought, you know what, I think I can do this on my own, start my own brand or my own label, and started conceptualizing, putting ideas together. Came up with a whole brand name, speaking to people what they think about it, and that's how it all started. Really, initially it was I hate fashion. The whole idea behind it was something which was sarcastic, something which was catchy, will draw your attention. As soon as you hear it, you want to find out more about it. So yeah, that's how it all started, really. I've always loved fashion, and so I thought, I'd do something on my own.
Okay. So I noticed you have artifacts or sculptures as well as clothing.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that?
I mean, fashion is art. I also tend to be a big lover of art. So you're talking about contemporary art, you're talking about music, culture, you're talking about paintings, just name it. I just love art. And I feel like I relate a lot to it. Those are one of my big interests. So, starting a fashion brand, I decided to add a few more aspects or a few other parts to it, to make it wholesome. So then these other things came to mind, and I thought, yeah, I could actually put all of it under one brand. And that's where I rebranded to say Indigenous House rather than I Hate Fashion. So Indigenous House encapsulates fashion. It includes food and spices, it includes arts, and it includes naturals. So yeah, the art has the sculpture, it has the paintings and whatnot under that umbrella.
Is it all products coming from Africa?
All Africa.
Okay.
Everything made in Africa, yes.
So the t-shirts themselves are all made in Africa with the
t-shirts
with
came
African
straight from t-shirts came from Nigeria, and I'll tell you what, this is you're the first to hear this. We're in talks with another Nigerian artist who's based in Canada, and he will be listing his paintings on our website. So the whole thing is that at some point we want to collaborate with other upcoming artists and upcoming fashion brands, just to promote African culture and to promote African art. So that is the entirety of it. That's the whole brain and concepts behind Indigenous House. That at some point it will be like one platform where you can go and see upcoming artists and what they have to showcase to the world. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so we're just finishing the paperwork and the contractual terms with our artists, and hopefully by next month, you know, we'll start listing this product on our website. Yeah.
You're a real high flyer. That's great.
Yeah, you have to aim high, Simon.
Yeah, you certainly do. So you're speaking of website. I only saw the Facebook site. I was looking for the website, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, so we've got a website.
Okay, well, we'll definitely put that link on the bottom of the episode so people can do their thing. I like the idea of supporting the local arts work. I was considering doing something like that myself for a company I started with someone called Safari Sandals. But then we looked at artwork because there's a lot of artwork on the east coast of Africa. The Beach Boys sit down and incorporated that. So yeah, that's really good.
So we could get talking, Simon.
Yeah, we most definitely good. They're very good sculptures, especially doing authentic African scenes before the colonization of the Arab and European man. Yeah. That's a great thing.
Yeah. And these sculptures have a lot of appeal, a lot of market appeal, not just in Africa, but in Europe, in the Americas, in Asia, all over the world. It has so much appeal. If you're going through airports, you see if you go through the duty-free shops, you see some sculptures and artwork displayed with a lot of African history.
When you sell the artwork, is there like I bought a rug in, I think it was Turkey or Egypt. There was a scroll of paper at the bottom explaining all the patterns on the rug and what it was about. Do you have things like that for your products?
Yes. So it depends on what product we're selling. So for instance, the naturals, which we're yet to showcase or we're yet to launch, we'll definitely have to include the ingredients. So whatever went into it, if it's shea butter, the oils, if it's coconut, if it's avocado, we have to list all of these things into it. And then when it comes to the artwork or the paintings, the sculptures, that will be dependent on the artist, because every artist has a different way or unique way of telling his or her story. So that will surely depend on the artist and how they want to communicate, how they want to tell their story. But for our work, yes, surely we describe how it came about. Even on our website, we've explained to our customers or to visitors how our logo came about, and there's a story behind our logo. So it's quite interesting when the way the logo was designed. I just told the designer, the graphic designer, this is how I see the brand. This is what I want the brand to be, and this is the message I'm trying to communicate or put out there, or what I'm trying to sell. And he came up with something really brilliant. It blew me off. So yeah, the story is on our website.
Is the designer based in Ghana?
Yes, he's based in Ghana. Everything is African, Simon.
I may have to get his number.
Yeah. More than happy to share it. So he's logo-centric, and I haven't told him about this podcast or my interview today, but I don't think he frown upon this. He'd be happy that I actually put his name out there. It's logo-centric on Instagram. You can check him out on Facebook.
So Indigenous House has been going for 8 years. What's that 8 years been like?
It's been 8 years in total, but with a big break or a pause, because as you already know, I took time to focus on studies, did my master's, and then I was working on my professional career. So doing my ACCA, getting some work experience. So I just had to put that on pause, and I revived it. Like I was saying, I did a rebranding just last year after I'd come back from Ghana and Nigeria, and that also sparked new ideas in my mind. And I thought, it's about time to get this done. Mm-hmm. So in reality, Indigenous House got birthed 8 years ago, but it's actually been fully trading since last year. So it's now registered in the UK, it's registered in Ghana, and we take orders worldwide. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got all your shipping down to the T.
Yes, we've got our shipping with we've got a deal with DHL, so we work closely with DHL, and they handle all our shipping and other logistics for us.
How's this Corona situation affect your business?
Quite massively, if I'm honest, quite massively. In terms of, so if you look at the demand and the supply side, both has been affected. On the supply, and I'll explain why. On the supply side, because of the lockdown, our production team and the craftsmen, they've been asked to all stay indoors. They can't have access to markets where we purchase our threads and materials for production. So that there has been a massive slowdown. Mm-hmm. And on the demand side, so if you look at graduation ceremonies for the Kente stores that we do supply, universities have put graduation on hold, or some of them have been cancelled. The students are not putting in orders as we expect. People are not shopping as much because nobody's stepping out. Everybody's like virtually indoors. So it's been a massive hit for us. But we always try and look at the positive side. I personally always look at the positive side and see how things can turn out in our favor. Yeah. So
okay.
We still keep pushing.
Just to explain to the listeners, what Indigenous House seems to specialize on is these scarves for the graduation ceremony that go around your neck that hang really long. So if you're a graduate out there, or you were meant to be a graduate, you're going to be a graduate later, feel free to give Indigenous House a look up, and they can produce one of the famous scarves. Was it Kente pattern? Is that right?
Yes, it's Kente, handmade in Ghana, West Africa, and you customize it to your specifications, to the colors, to the designs that you want on it, at extra costs depending on what you want. So, and the good thing is we are able to frame it for you. If you want us to frame it, hang it on your wall, we can do that for you as well. And we give back to these craftsmen to support them locally, to promote them. So
what Indigenous House is like a African Amazon for the craftsmen, basically.
Yeah, that's the long-term aim, aim, Simon. That's a long-term vision that at some point it will be like the Jumia or the Amazon of craftsmanship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to showcase talent.
That's great. That's good. So now things are back and rolling. What is the future for Indigenous House?
I always stay very optimistic. Like I just shared with you, one of our long-term goals is to become the go-to platform for each and everyone who wants to have access to African artisans or craftsmen. So, talk about kente, talk about locally made T-shirts, paintings. Because the thing is, right, most popular painters that we know of, we never heard of them when they were alive until they had left the surface of this earth. You see,
it's always the way.
Sorry, say again.
I said that's always the way.
Yeah, exactly. And or just trying to change that narrative, and then promote us as Africans to the world and showcase the talent that we have in Africa.
You say Africa, but most of your products come from Ghana. Are we looking at other parts of Africa for supplying goods, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, this is more or less the starting phase of it. So as in when we expand, like I said to you, that the maiden edition of our fashion collection was done in Nigeria. It was an artist in Nigeria that we collaborated with. And we're getting another Nigerian artist on our platform. So you see, it's not just Ghana. The Kente stores come from Ghana. The Kente products, the bow ties that you're seeing, they all come from Ghana. So we keep expanding, trying to add other products from other African countries on our platform to make it more diverse.
What does Kente actually mean?
Good question, Simon. Very good question. So I don't know exactly what it means, which is quite a shame. But Kente is a prestigious cloth, okay, for it shows royalty, okay. It signifies royalty in the Ashanti Kingdom, and that's where originally it comes from the early 70s, from a town called Bonre. So Bonre is originally where Kente comes from, dating back to the early 1970s. So talking about what Kente actually means, I can't say, oh, this is what exactly it means, but that's what Kente is. It's a material, it's a cloth, which is very colorful and it shows royalty. Yeah.
Okay. So apart from the scarves, the sculptures, I saw T-shirts. Are there any other products that you want to tell the audience about on there?
So for now there are T-shirts. We are coming up with caps, and obviously there is the Kente graduation stores. There are bow ties. We've got the sash. We've got pocket squares, and we are expanding the product range from time to time. So yeah, just keep looking out on our website and stay in touch for updates. And from time to time, we will be updating our product lists.
Has anybody told you that Indigenous House sounds like a name of a roots rap band? We got Indigenous House in the house. Hey.
I thought of something which will
like a Jill Scott,
Africa.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, which would depict Africa. So Indigenous is what came in mind, and I didn't want to sway away from the I initial. So it was I Hate Fashion, which was IHF, and we still have Indigenous House. So IH still remains. I didn't want to go too far off from that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it worked perfectly well, to be honest, and I'm really pleased with the name that I came up with. Yeah.
Is there a team of you for this company as well?
So yeah, myself and then one other partner of mine. He's based in Ghana. Then the production team.
Okay.
Based in Ghana. Yeah.
And did it take? Sorry,
go on.
Did it take long to set up to get everything running?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because I feel like I was quite knowledgeable about the market. It's something I'd done in the past, and it was just sort of a revival of the brand. Just rekindle everything. So it didn't take too long, not at all, to get things set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed you mentioned that it's registered in England and Ghana. Now, I did an interview a while ago with somebody in there explaining how Gambia has tax. You pay double tax. So if you have a business here but in Gambia, but you're from here, you pay tax to Gambia as well as to UK. Don't ask me why. I believe Kenya has the same thing.
No, it's
Ghana.
I know about this. I mean, there's something called the DTT, so it's called a double tax treaty. So the UK has agreements with several countries, whereby if you're a UK resident or your company is resident in the UK and you transact business in another country, or you work in another country for a couple of months or whatever, or for how long it is, you obviously have to pay taxes in that country, okay? And you have to pay taxes in your home country or your resident country, which is the UK, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the double tax treaty works such that if the country in question has this agreement with the UK, the taxes you've paid in that country will be offset against the taxes you're meant to pay in the UK. So they did the conversions. I mean, they put together the tax rates. So for instance, you pay 30% tax in Gambia. This is an example. I don't know what the tax rate in Gambia is. So you pay 30% tax, and the UK corporation tax rate is 19%, okay? As we speak, it's at 19%. Now that difference of 11% is what you're going to pay. Doesn't make sense in the UK.
The UK is less.
Yeah, the UK corporation tax is less, but I don't know what I don't know what tax rate it is in Gambia.
Yeah.
I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, I was just thinking on that example, I would have thought you don't pay any more because Gambia's 30 as example, Gambia's 30 and in UK is 19.
Yes,
you've got 11% left.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you pay, you get sort of a refund, like a rebate.
Okay.
Yeah. My mistake.
So it actually works to your advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you even get more.
Well, you learn something every day. Yeah, that's good. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any last things you'd want to tell us about your Indigenous house?
I think I'll just say to people who are listening or your audience, you know, if you've got interest in fashion, you've got interest in art, and you have any ideas in mind and you want us to collaborate, feel free to reach out to us, because we're more than happy to work with people like your kind, people who are very interested in that space to promote African culture. Yeah, so I think those would be my words to the audience.
And the last question is quality control. How do you deal with that? Because I found from experience of exporting certain products, quality, if you're not at that supplier all the time, then the quality could be this one week and that the next. The sizes could be wrong, the type of leather can be wrong.
Yeah, so we ensure that the places where we get our materials and our supplies, maintain that same quality. So we don't change suppliers at any time. We make sure that we stick to one supplier, because then we've got that trust for working with that supplier, and therefore our brand reputation is also at stake. We don't want to sell low quality products to our customers. So that's how we sort of check that quality is in control.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so you basically taught them what you want, and now you're happy.
Exactly. And also, for instance, with the kente, we make sure that we get samples.
Mm-hmm.
We make sure we get samples first of all before the final product comes out, and we the design with pictures. We make sure that the pictures are exactly what the customer wants. If it's bespoke, we make sure that this is what the customer actually wants, and the description is intact before we go out there to make the production. So quality, we don't compromise on that at all.
And just so people don't confuse the cheap Chinese versions, what is kente originally made out of?
It's made out of thread, and it's handmade. Okay, so
is it cotton?
It's weaved. Yeah, cotton threads.
Oh, it's cotton. Okay.
Yeah. So it's weaved with kente looms. They call them the looms. It's like a machine, and the weaver or the artisan sits behind it and uses his hands together with his feet in sync. So it's like weaving a web, a spider web. Okay, and the history of kente is that two men went into the forest one day and they saw a spider in the act of weaving a web, and that's how one person took the idea and they started making kente. So that's the history of kente. So yeah, it's hand woven. It's not printed. It's not cloth. Like, you know, it's hand woven. You can feel it. The texture tells you that this is actually hand woven. It makes it even more authentic.
Well, that's great to finish off with that little story of the spider and the two men in the forest.
Yeah.
It was great having you again, and I will thank you, and we're sure our listeners will appreciate what you had to say. And
thanks.
Who knows, maybe we have you back again someday.
Hopefully.
Okay then.
All right. Thanks, Simon.
Thanks.
Take care.